What's good, guys? So often people ask me, oh, which supplement should I take? Do you recommend this or do you recommend that? And the truth is, you do not need supplements. I said it there. You literally do not need supplements. The key is in the word itself. They're supposed to supplement your diet and training. So often people, especially beginners, underestimate how important correct diet and training methods actually are. I want to share a bit of a story when I started getting into weightlifting to put things in perspective. I started researching on the internet what supplements I should be taking, which ones are the most beneficial and stuff, and I remember reading through forums. I just wanted to know, I was like, just tell me which supplement do I need to take. I want to get big, I want to get big real quick. And these people just kept saying, no, you got to eat properly and train right. And I don't know, I kind of thought they were like keeping a secret from me for some reason. I used to get frustrated. I was like, nah, just tell me which supplement works. And obviously a few years down the line, now I realize that supplements are really not as important as you think they are when you first start out. Like, honestly, they'll make a 5 to 10% difference in your progress. The majority will be coming from correct diet and training methods. The whole industry, supplement industry, is just one gigantic money-making marketing machine. So on all of these products, they're just going to throw like loads of false claims. Oh, you'll pack on 20 pounds of muscle in 4 weeks, and they'll use like some guy on the tub. But what they don't tell you is that guy is probably taking excessive amounts of steroids and he's using this. So most of his progress is going to come from the performance enhancing drugs, not the supplement. That's just the truth. Like, I'm not saying supplements don't work, but they often don't work as well as people think they will. But this video is going to go into the supplements I actually recommend. But just on that note, never prioritize supplements above good food and training. Like, I would spend my money on food before you even think about spending your money on supplements. Don't have a poor diet and then go and blow loads of money on supplements thinking it's going to like counteract it. It just won't. You need to make sure your diet and training are in check, and then add in the supplements to make that little bit extra difference. Basically, I'm going to go over the most effective supplements first. This is both a combination of like my personal use with them and research. Also, I'm not a scientist, so if I'm wrong about any of this, please do correct me in the comments. I'm always willing to learn. But as far as I'm aware, this is the most accurate information that I've been able to find on the effectiveness of certain supplements. So, first off, we're going to start with whey protein. It's probably one of the most well-known supplements out there. I don't even really consider whey protein a supplement. I think of it more like just a really convenient source of protein. As most animals would say, just think of it as liquid chicken breast. Honestly, it's just an easy way to hit your daily protein requirements. So on that note, I would look for one that's low in sugars, low in carbs, low in sugars. Because often companies just they take whey protein and then put a load of other crap in there that you don't actually need. So just look for a high quality, basic whey protein supplement. I'm not sponsored by any companies, but the ones I do recommend are My Protein Impact Whey Protein, that's pretty good. Muscle Food Whey Protein 85. But yeah, you can buy any brand really, just be aware of the added carbs and sugars. Whey protein can be a good source of BCAAs. It's quick to digest, so it's useful like having after a workout. I don't know if that's completely bro science, like that anabolic window, you need your protein 30 minutes after. Apparently some research said it doesn't really make a difference, so just drink whey protein whenever you feel like you need a bit more protein in your diet, either in the morning, post-workout, or whenever really. And I'll probably recommend having like 1 to 2 shakes a day. Okay, moving on to the next supplement I actually recommend is creatine. This is probably one of the most researched supplements out there. So it basically improves your ATP, which stands for adenosine triphosphate, increases that production, which basically increases your muscle power output, allowing you to do more work in a certain time frame. So say you normally bench 100 kilograms for 8 repetitions. If you like using creatine, you might be able to do 10 repetitions. And some research has shown that creatine can also help increase muscle growth as well. Just make sure you drink lots of water when you're taking creatine because it does saturate the muscles with water. I'd also again look for one with little fillers. Often creatine is like added into all sorts of other supplements. Just look for a basic just look for a basic creatine supplement. I'd recommend creatine monohydrate. Apparently CREAPURE is one of the purest forms of creatine. It's from a German lab. It's like 99.9% pure creatine monohydrate. You can get one that's flavored, but I probably wouldn't recommend that because you just throw it in a whey protein shake and you don't even taste it really. If you're using creatine, I would probably recommend loading on 10 grams a day for about a week, just so it helps get into your muscles faster, and then maintaining on 5 grams a day. And you can kind of use it indefinitely. You don't need to cycle creatine. And so the next thing I would recommend is a good multivitamin / mineral. These are not really necessary if you have a good all-round balanced diet, but it is useful to know that you're covering all your bases, just so make sure you have no deficiencies. And I must note, it is also worth spending the extra money on a higher quality multivitamin because of the way the minerals are sourced. In lower ones, they have a low absorption rate in your body, so yeah, with the higher ones, they just come from a higher quality source, which helps absorption in your body. Moving on, we have essential fatty acids. These mean they're essential because your body can't produce them naturally, so you need to take them in externally from in your diet or supplementation. I'd recommend probably a fish oil product, cod liver oil, olive oil as well. It's good for cooking. I'd recommend either using coconut oil or olive oil when you're cooking anything. Moving on, caffeine. So it's probably the world's most used drug. I assume most of you know what it does. But it basically helps with performance, just keeps you more mentally alert, and it's been shown to aid with fat loss as well. But you must be aware that excess consumption of caffeine can increase your stress hormone levels, blood pressure, heart rate, and it can disrupt sleep. So just use it as little as possible, basically. Alright, the next category of supplements we're going to move on to are somewhat effective. They're obviously not as effective as the ones I've just been over, but they can be useful in some situations. So the first one is a good pre-workout. A lot of pre-workouts are filled with useless fillers, sugars and other things that you don't really need. A boost before going to the gym, you're feeling a little bit tired and you need that energy. A pre-workout can be good, but just bear in mind that most pre-workouts rely on caffeine to give you that mental boost, so you could as easily just drink a coffee and have a good workout. But some of them do have useful ingredients like creatine, as I said, caffeine, beta-alanine and citrulline malate. Big shout out to Omar Isuf, who's trying to get away from all these ridiculous unnecessary ingredients in pre-workouts, so he's made a new one called Singularity by his company called Gnosis Nutrition. But yeah, he's basically trying to keep it minimalistic, and it basically has those 4 ingredients, which are all you need. So yeah, just be on the lookout for a basic one with those 4 ingredients. Moving on, BCAAs. Whey protein, as I said, does contain some BCAAs, but sometimes for some people it can also be useful to use a separate BCAA supplement just to get higher doses of BCAAs. In reality though, it's not very practical, because if you're into health and fitness, most of the protein sources you will be eating are already very high in BCAAs, so it's not really necessary. I would probably recommend it only when you're cutting, and I'd recommend drinking 10 grams during a workout just to prevent muscle catabolism, which is muscle breakdown. The next thing is beta-alanine. Research has shown it's not as effective as creatine, which is why it's lower down on this list. Basically, it helps prevent excess acidity in your muscles, which is caused during intense exercise. It's typically better for people who favor longer sets and shorter rest periods, so it's probably not as good for powerlifters or someone. It's more hypertrophy training, and it has also been shown to help build more muscle. So now we're going to move on to the ones that I don't think are worth the money. Basically, I don't think they're very effective at all. Fat burners, THERMOGENICS, otherwise as they're known. Most of them are complete rubbish. You're not going to get shredded in 2 weeks taking these things. Most of them are herbal supplements that, honestly, the scientific research behind them is very flaky. The only ones with any real scientific backing, the ingredients in things, are caffeine and ephedrine, which I believe is illegal in some countries. You can't actually buy it over the counter. So for the most part, I would recommend just stay clear of fat burners. If you watch my Nutrition 101 video, you might have to go back a few videos, but I explain how the majority of weight gain or fat loss comes from your diet. It's either being in a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit. So fat burners, if you're not watching your diet, they're not going to do anything for you. You need to understand diet and training. I cannot stress how important correct diet and training is. Doesn't matter, you could take every supplement under the sun, but if your diet and training are not on point, I guarantee you will not see progress. Well, you might see a little bit, but nowhere near as much as you could. If you have that extra money and you want to spend a little bit more on supplements that might make a little bit more difference, then go ahead. But if you're on like a tight budget, just remember you do not need supplements. Prioritize food and training. I'm just trying to keep it honest with this channel. I'm just going to wrap up this video. If you did find this useful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. New videos coming soon. Also feel free to share this video with anyone that you think might benefit from it. Thanks for watching. Peace.